Hello and thank you for joining us on this busy Thursday evening. I'm Josh McLean and I'm joined by Charlyn Garcia tonight. Coming up, a mummy that's at least 800 years old found in Peru, Facebook whistleblower to testify, remembering Congresswoman Kerry Meek, and a look at your week's weather. All this and more as PS News starts right now.
Here's what's happening around the world. Archaeologists say this recently discovered mummy is between 800 and 1200 years old. Researchers from the National University of San Marcos unearthed the ancient human remains in the underwater burial site near Lima, Peru. The mummy was tied with ropes and their hands covered their face, which fits a southern Peruvian funeral custom. According to the archaeologists, the preserved body predates the Inca civilization. They believe the mummy was most likely a young man between 20 and 30 years old at the time of his death. They say he was also likely an important person in society at the time. Researchers plan to analyze the mummy to narrow down the period and learn more details about the person's identity.
Many people start putting up Christmas lights the day after Thanksgiving, but some are already plugged in and celebrating. Like this house in central Germany that includes more than 70,000 lights. The owners say it all started years ago with a single string of lights in the front garden. But as you can see, it has grown into a display that attracts crowds from all over the region. And not only are there lights, but visitors get to enjoy sausages, lemonade, and mulled wine, with all the proceeds going to help animals.
While the U.S. was celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday, Egypt was celebrating the reopening of the ancient Avenue of Sphinxes in Luxor. The roughly 1.5-mile road, also known as the Road of the Rams, connects two temple complexes, the Temple of Luxor and the Temple of Karnak. The Avenue of Sphinxes is more than 3,000 years old, but was first discovered in the late 1940s. It was expanded across different Egyptian dynasties over hundreds of years. The annexes include baths and wash basins, a pottery-making area, and more. Before reopening, it had undergone decades of excavation and restoration efforts. It now features hundreds of traditional sphinxes and ram-headed statues lined up on its path. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi attended Thursday's event. Now let's take a quick look at this week's weather with Marcel Gibbs.
Thank you, Josh and Charlie. I'm PS News meteorologist Marcel Gibbs. Now let's take a look at your North Country weather. Now we are seeing 29 for St. Albans City with 30 for Wilson, 31 for Plattsburgh, and 23 for Dannemora, 29 for All Sable Forks, 23 for Owl's Head, and 22 for Vermontville. Now let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. Now we're seeing barely any sun for the next coming week. We're seeing some sun for Friday with a temperature of 31. We're seeing snow for Saturday with the temp of 30. Hopefully it does not stick to the floor. We're seeing clouds for just Sunday with the temperature of 32. We're seeing rain for Monday, 48. And then we're seeing the sun coming back finally on Tuesday, but it ain't gonna give us any heat with the temperature of 28. Now let's toss it back to the desk with Charlie and Josh.
Thank you, Marcel. We will take a short break, and when we come back, we will take a look at the news around the nation.
Fitty Sports has been serving its communities, local high schools, youth commissions, clubs, and other businesses since 1984. We specialize in trophies, screen printing, sporting goods, embroidery, office apparel, uniforms, hats, t-shirts, and more. Regardless of the size of your project, you will have the full participation and dedication of our design team. No job is too big or too small, keeping you involved every step of the way so that your vision is our design. Stop into Finney Sports or call us to see what we can do for you.
Welcome back. Here's tonight's national news. Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen is set to testify before a House subcommittee Wednesday. Her appearance will come during a hearing examining possible changes to the laws governing tech companies. The panel's name is listed as Holding Big Tech Accountable, Targeted Reforms to Tech's Legal Immunity. It comes weeks after Haugen leaked what have been called the Facebook Papers to the Securities and Exchange Commission. In tens of thousands of pages, those internal documents shine a spotlight on the social media giant's problems, including hate speech and misinformation, groups using the platform to cause real-world violence, and dangers non-English-speaking users face in politically unstable parts of the world. Haugen told senators last month she believes Facebook harms children, stokes division, and weakens our democracy. She also told attendees at a tech conference she believes CEO Mark Zuckerberg should step down. Facebook claims the documents Haugen leaked provide a skewed image of the company's research and efforts.
The Better Business Bureau is reminding Americans that scammers are ramping up for a holiday season. The BBB recently released its list of top 12 scams of Christmas. They say criminals use emails and social media to facilitate most of the scams. But social media is where people are most vulnerable. The top 3 scams on the list center on social media platforms. The BBB also warns consumers to avoid misleading ads, gift exchanges, and holiday apps. They also point out scams that appear every year during the holidays, like fake charities, fake shipping notifications, lookalike websites, and puppy scams. You can find the full list of the holiday scams to avoid on the BBB website.
Merriam-Webster has picked the one word it believes represents 2021, and that word is vaccine. Monday, the publisher announced vaccine is its official 2021 word of the year. Merriam-Webster says the choice highlights the dual discussion surrounding vaccinations this year, how the COVID-19 vaccine was seen as both a promising medical solution and a source of political argument and division. They note online searches for the definition of vaccine jumped 601% between 2020 and 2021. This is the second year Merriam-Webster has made a coronavirus-influenced pick. Pandemic was its 2020 word of the year. Merriam-Webster also released a list of the 10 runner-ups to the word of the year. That list included politically charged words like insurrection, woke, and infrastructure.
A pioneering Florida congresswoman died Sunday at her home in Miami at the age of 95. Kerry Meek was the first black woman to serve in Florida Senate and later became among the first elected to Congress since Reconstruction. The granddaughter of an enslaved person broke many barriers in her career, including being the first black professor at Miami-Dade Community College. After serving in Congress for a decade, Representative Meek retired in 2002. Her son Kendrick successfully ran for her House seat and served 4 terms in Congress. Congresswoman Meek is survived by 3 children, 7 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren.
President Joe Biden invited CEOs of numerous major retailers and grocers to discuss the upcoming holiday shopping season. According to a White House statement before Monday's meeting, the administration is focused on bolstering U.S. supply chains, helping keep prices down, and to make sure, quote, shelves are well stocked. During the roundtable event, Biden said he believes Americans are a little more optimistic this holiday season compared to a year before. Among the companies represented at the event, Best Buy, CVS Health, Mattel, and Walmart. A White House official says the president is set to give updated remarks on the economy Wednesday.
With President Biden signing the long-anticipated Infrastructure and Jobs Act into law, one local official details how it will impact the local economy. Here's PSTV's Benny Nazar's report on the efforts to improve infrastructure in the North Country.
The long-awaited bipartisan infrastructure package is finally here.
The bill I'm about to sign along is proof that despite the cynics, Democrats and Republicans can come together and deliver results.
But while the celebration is underway in our nation's capital, here in the North Country, the anticipation of a federal infrastructure package has been long overdue.
We have been supporting a major infrastructure bill for several years, and neither party, presidents of both parties, haven't been able to quite pull it together, and so we're absolutely pleased that it came together.
But as the package is projected to include $1.2 trillion in federal spending, the anticipation is it will give the North Country a new look when it comes to transportation.
The element we probably are most excited about is the unprecedented level of investment in mass transportation, the money that's going to flow to MTA and other transit authorities and to Amtrak and others across the country over the next 5 years.
Another notable element of the package is the projected cleanup efforts towards Lake Champlain.
That's important, particularly to the Vermont side of the lake, which has most of the continuing problems that are needing to be addressed in the lake. And of course, it doesn't matter what side some contamination or problem comes from, the lake is shared. And so, we're happy to see that.
As the federal government's infrastructure package has finally gone into law, the overall expectation is it will create significant economic growth and a better way of living across the North Country and beyond. Reporting in Plattsburgh, I'm Benny Nazai for CMM 458 News.
Thank you, Benny, for that great story. Now let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will hear what's going on in the world of sports with Harrison Gereau. Stay tuned.
Hello, my name is John Lynch. I'm the president of the school's animation club. While other colleges' animation clubs strive to only show just straight anime, our club tries to be something different, as we show a variety of things such as Western animation, Eastern animation, internet animation, films, and so much more. If you want to meet people who have like-minded taste in animation, then feel free to come on down to our club.
Welcome to PS Sports. I'm Harrison Gereau. Here's what's happening in the sports world today. A Major League Baseball lockout is now in place. The collective bargaining agreement between the league and Players Association expired at 11:59 Wednesday night. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred says the sides couldn't negotiate a new contract by then, so it locked players out at 12:01 Thursday. This is the off-season, but pitchers and catchers are supposed to start spring training in February. The lockout also means trades and free agency deals have to stop for now. The Players Association calls the lockout drastic and unnecessary. However popular Jim Harbaugh is with his players, he's likely even more popular right now with University of Michigan Athletic Department employees. The Michigan Wolverines head football coach is donating his bonus money this season to department employees who were impacted by COVID-19 related pay cuts. He revealed his decision Monday. Harbaugh secured a $500,000 bonus Saturday when the Wolverines beat the Buckeyes to secure the Big Ten East Division crown. If Michigan is victorious in the Big Ten championship game this Saturday, Harbaugh would earn an additional $1 million bonus. And if he hits every goal laid out in his contract, his total bonus compensation could be as much as $3,475,000. A spokesperson for the Michigan Athletics Department said the move stands to benefit hundreds of employees. Tiger Woods says his full-time golfing days are over. That somber acknowledgement is an exclusive interview with Golf Digest, coming after Woods suffered severe leg injuries in a car crash earlier this year. The interview was the first time since the accident that the golf legend has spoken publicly about his golfing future. He said that though he won't play full-time, he sees himself playing in a few events a year, perhaps returning to the tour eventually. Woods called it a, quote, unfortunate reality that he's okay with. He said he still has a long way to go in his recovery as far as muscle and nerve development. This is my last newscast as sports director for PS News, and I wanted to take the time to thank everyone in PSTV for giving me this opportunity across the past 2 semesters. Though my time in Plattsburgh was short, some of my best memories were forged within the walls of Studio A or Studio B in Yoakum Hall, and I will miss it dearly. Special thanks to executive producer Cameron Kircher, news director Aaron Smith, and the entire crew behind the scenes here at PSTV. I'll miss you all. And with that, it's time I let you know. Tomorrow night, Cardinal hockey returns to PSTV. We'll be live starting at 6:45 on Friday night to bring you the Plattsburgh State men's hockey team as they face off with the Potsdam Bears. You can catch that live on cable and on the Plattsburgh State TV YouTube channel. That's all for tonight's sports news. Let's throw it back to the desk with Josh and Charlie.
Before we end our final newscast of the semester, I'd like to speak on behalf of the entire team here at Plattsburgh State Television. Between August when we arrived and the end of finals week, we've accomplished so much this semester. 37 newscasts, 4 of them in a foreign language, 38 episodes of original programming, 2 Cardinal hockey games, and 1 live event when we resurrected Live Night for the first time in nearly 2 years. We put together a total of 78 productions this semester, all done entirely by students. If you'd be so kind, you can watch them all on the Plattsburgh State TV YouTube page. We'd be remiss if we didn't thank our management staff here at PSTV, all of whom did some great work this semester. Specifically, we'd like to recognize our news director, Aaron Smith, who steered the ship for our newscast, sports director, Harrison Gereau, who produced our sports segments for the last 2 semesters, and lastly, our fearless leader, executive producer, Cameron Karcher. Cam led the way this semester and has been a standout player at the station since he started as a freshman. He was talent on countless shows, won 2 MVP awards, and the illustrious Best Show Award last spring for his film show, In the Reels. And while we're sad to see him go, we wish him the best of luck as he moves on to Spectrum News in Albany this winter. Now, for the final time this semester, whether you're watching from home or on the go, you can find PS News on social media at PS Newsroom and all our shows online at Plattsburgh State TV. I'm Josh McLean.
And I'm Charlyn Garcia. Thank you all for watching and have a good night, Plattsburgh.